Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I just made myself a cup of coffee at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because sometimes you just got to do it. I was getting a little drowsy, and I had gone and thrown baseballs to the boys, and the 7-year-old had a little attitude problem. Then I came home, and when I came home, I was just sitting in my chair and got a little bit tired, and so I thought maybe it was time for a cup of coffee. Okay, let's start off with Sergeant Obi-Wan. He did this poll on Twitter. Do you think real Donald Trump has spoken to Brad Garlinghouse about digital assets and how XRP can help the USA? 71% of people, there's 424 votes so far, 71% of the people think he has. Now, I think we've seen documentation. It seems like last week I showed you there are meeting notes or from the agenda of like the SEC and maybe the Treasury Department. We saw notes where Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz and a few of them had met. I think that was, I can't remember if that was with the SEC or somebody, but we haven't seen, like, it'd be interesting to look and see. I think that the White House has to put out in public the list of people who have attended meetings at the White House. And so if he has, I would think that one of these geniuses we have in the Twitter community could find it. So anyway, if anybody knows how to go and look that up, I might go to the White House website and see if I can find it, because it probably is listed if he did. And then I got this from the Crypto D, at the Crypto D. And remember, every time I see his Twitter handle, it reminds me of my oldest son when he was little. He was obsessed with sharks. And so he watched Jaws all the time. And when he watched it and he got to that one scene where Roy Schneider's character is on that boat at the very end, and he's in the top of the boat. I forget what you call that up there. But anyway, the boat is sinking. It's about to sink, and he finally shoots at that tank in the shark's mouth. And he says, "Die, you son of a bitch!" And at the very end, and my son, when he was little, he thought that he said, "You shoulda bump." And so my son, I've got videos where he's building Lego. He's got a Lego boat pretending like that it's that Jaws scene. And I should show that video to you guys someday. One day I'm going to show that video on this. You're going to kick out of that. But he'd go, "Why, you shoulda bump?" And that's what he would say every time he was acting out that scene in the videos I took. And I do have that video now that I think about it. Okay, well, Crypto D sent me this. And this is a tweet from Rachel Lee, who's pretty big on Twitter. I don't know if it's it says Rachel Lee, but I don't know if it's a girl or a guy. But anyway, very smart, very intelligent person, and you can tell that. But if you look through this thread, it's pretty amazing, and it kind of ties in with what I covered this morning. In this thread, I will cover why and how I believe XRP is being positioned to become the new world currency, replacing the IMF's outdated SDRs. I will not be going into full details, so please bear with me and try to keep up. What is an SDR? SDR is an international reserve asset created by the IMF in 1969. They're allocated to member countries in proportion to their IMF quotas, also called paper gold. Now, but when you read this, think pre-allocation theory. SDRs are allocated to member countries in proportion to their IMF quotas. So think about Brad Cohn's pre-allocation theory when you read that. Also called paper gold, it is not backed by any currency or precious metal, used only among governments of member countries and IMF for balance of payment settlements. First, let's give some credit to Bearable Guy 123 for assisting us in connecting these dots and sense of it all, and then he says, so WTI is a grade of crude oil used as a benchmark in oil pricing. It is the underlying commodity of the New York Mercantile Exchange's oil futures contracts. Other important oil markets that Ripple has known ties with include Oman, Dubai, and OPEC, Saudi Arabia. Benchmarking oil, and they've highlighted all this stuff. Here we find out that New York Mercantile Exchange is a subsidiary of CME Group. The CME Group and their subs handle energy and metals related products. Price quoted for transactions, people pay for various commodities globally. We've discussed these previous tweets how Ripple is tied to the CME Group, not only at the foundation phase, but also via Miguel Valles, who sacrificed a top position to join a fintech startup. There are just chessboard pieces being moved around by those powers behind Ripple. Here's Miguel Valles that we talked about this morning in a video, and then here's they provide global financial settlement solutions to the CME Group. All right, and then she says, if you ever thought Ripple's partnerships were just random, think again. We've pointed this out previously and do so again. Ripple's current partnership focuses on strategic interest, FX markets, and oil markets, derivatives, not so much remittances as they make you believe. And they show all of these. And then she says, Bretton Woods Committee podcast, listen carefully how it is discussed that IMF's outdated SDRs could become relevant overnight. Same can be done for XRP. And how? Replace SDRs with what Ripple is positioning XRP for. And there's a video there you can listen to. Now let's listen into the Chicago Economics Society discuss the SDR with the current and former IMF senior officials. And the link to that's there. And here's the Chicago Economic Society. Listen to Miguel, and this is the video I showed you this morning. Listen to Miguel Valles slip up and give it all away. Read between the lines. Ripple cannot become a lender of last resort. That's the IMF's job. I hope you are now fully convinced there's nothing more major to discuss after this. And then she finally says, the 55 billion XRP, the 55 billion XRP is the digital gold which IMF will use to reliquify the world after the next financial crisis. Now remember, the guy from the tweet this morning had, what did he call it? The this is the secret bailout XRP. Will use to reliquify the world after the next financial crisis coming soon. XRP will need to be valued in the 4 digits first. This is why the rush is on to get the ecosystem up and running. Accumulate and be patient. That's what the digital asset investor is doing, I can promise you that. Okay, next from Michelle Vandenberg. Sent me a couple of cool things. The first one is this. Now tell me, from Max Crypto School, now tell me making XRP a reserve currency is far-fetched. I made a compilation to take a step back and admire the system being built around XRP. Now, some of this video stuff we've seen before, but he's put together a good compilation where you can kind of watch. Really interesting. Anytime we have things like this, we need to all go watch, because it really can make things click and piece all together in your mind. At CRYPTOSCH. Okay, let me keep going. I'm trying to get rid of some of these screens. Speed the old computer up. This was also from Michelle Vandenberg. Now, this is fascinating, and I want you to watch it, and this is something I can actually play. There's not any sound that goes with it. But what you're looking at, usage share of internet browsers from 1996 to 2019. And what I want you to think about is the top 15 digital assets on CoinMarketCap when I show you this, because that is what's interesting here. One thing that everyone learns in life over time is that everything changes. And in this case, and in technology, the better product ultimately rises to the top, one way or the other. So think Bitcoin, XRP, and all these things, because you will see this same thing happen. When the internet first came along, Netscape was the browser, and then look what happens as time goes on. Internet Explorer became the one. As we get to 2000, Internet Explorer pretty much owns the entire space as of 2001. And then look what happens. Now you start to see the introduction of competition. You see Firefox come in, and I'm drinking some coffee while I'm letting you watch this for a second. But what's interesting is as you get further along, some competitors come in that nobody saw coming, and they just boom. But I believe that you will see, I believe that just as Netscape was replaced overnight in the first inning of the ball game by Internet Explorer, I believe you will see that happen with XRP. And ultimately, Bitcoin, in terms of a product, is not in the ballpark of all of those digital assets that are below it, or a lot of them, not all. But anyway, especially XRP. And so you will see. So see what happened when Google Chrome came out. Started eating away at the Internet Explorer market share. Now in 2015, 16, you got Google Chrome and Internet Explorer is now lost in third place. This really is a good illustration of the type of thing that happens. So just because this is how you know things to this point, don't think for a minute that this is how this game finishes, folks, because it doesn't. We are really still in the first inning. Now I got this is a new person that sent me something at the real CSTAT. Not sure what that means, but it looks like his kid is a baseball player, or maybe maybe it's a coach or something, I don't know. But anyway, this was sent to me from him, and this is from Bull Run Wonka, and I thought this was interesting. Fair playing field, bridge currency, retweet if you see it. Hodl XRP, Wonka knows. And this is a video where this guy that's from it says, if you look at this, watch this video, his title is like chairman of the group of 30, and I didn't even know what that was. But it said chairman of the group of 30, senior minister, and a group of 30, I swear, it may have been CKJ that I heard talk about the group of 30 one time. I'm not sure who it was that was talking about it, but I had never heard of the group of 30. But this guy is the senior minister, and I decided I would go see what it is. But group of 30, it says group of 30 aims to deepen the understanding of international economic and financial issues, and to explore the international repercussions of decisions taken in the public and private sectors. So basically, this is, if you look at the members, this is just a group of people that were with central banks and just powerful people from finance in all of the major countries. But if you start going through the list, this is the group of 30. Start going down the list, and look what happens. Look who pops up. Mark Carney's right there. This guy from the Bank of International Settlements, Augustus Carstens. And as you go through here, Timothy Geithner, who was one of the guys that coordinated the bailouts in the financial crisis. Everybody involved are players in this whole game, folks. You had this guy. He was the U.S. Treasury Secretary under, I guess, was it Clinton maybe? But it all kind of starts to add up. Got this from XRP Platypus at J Skyway. Sent me this one, and this is Anthony Pompliano, who, look, you got your Bitcoin guys, and you got your you got XRP people and Litecoin people. I think Anthony Pompliano, even though he's a Bitcoin guy, and he has a lot of investments in that, I still think he's one of the good guys. There's a big difference between someone who's pro Bitcoin that goes out and tries to bash XRP and stuff, and somebody like this guy who, for the most part, he tries to be pretty cool about it and not step on anybody's toes and all that. And here, you know, he puts this list out every week, and somebody gave him a hard time about, why are you not including anything about Ripple in any of this stuff? This week in crypto, he decided to add it. Court says Craig Wright lied. Gemini joins Silvergate Network. PNC Bank joins RippleNet. Binance launches crypto lending. Bitcoin is still not dead. So you got to give Anthony Pompliano some credit for being a smart guy. Now, I'm not going to go too far into this. I just wanted you to go and watch it. I've watched part of it. This is from our buddy at ECO SSEXRP1. Watch this. This is where the whole world is heading. No banks, no bank cards, no cash, just your phone and crypto. New money, the greatest wealth creation event in history. And you can go and watch this in his feed there. Okay, Chinu Patel. Wait a minute. I got some things out of order, but you know to go follow Chinu Patel. I got some things out of order here. But I think he sent me this from XRP Vegas. Happy Sunday. So stoked to see this license plate in Vegas. XRP 2 Moon. So we're all out there, folks, aren't we? Okay, and then I wanted to give these guys a shout out. Apparently they had their Irish meetup. This is Irish XRP at Crypto GMARAH. And they sent me a picture of their crypto meetup, and I'm going to make this a thumbnail. Let's make these guys famous. I love the Irish and I love the Guinness. And then finally from Joker at Kia Crypto, he told me he was watching a show. Oh man, I knew I was going to draw a blank on what he called the show. It's not Awakenings. The show, he said that I can't remember the name of the show he said he was watching, but it's a show when they were talking about crypto, and this was a scene that he just snapshot. It said dollars are about to be toilet paper. So I thought we needed to show you guys that for sure. Well, I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And tell your friends and family that if they haven't done so and they're of age, go have a Guinness. Thank you for listening.